A major legal battle continues to unfold on the West Coast involving Donald Trump's controversial deployment of federal troops to U.S. cities. A recent ruling from Oregon has added new weight to an already heated fight playing out in California, raising serious questions about presidential power and the limits of federal authority. A Trump-appointed judge in Oregon has blocked the former president's order to deploy troops to Portland, concluding that the move was not justified by the situation on the ground. The judge wrote that while there had been unrest months earlier, by the time Trump issued the directive in late September 2025, the protests had largely subsided. She emphasized that presidential authority deserves respect, but cannot be used to ignore factual realities. This decision closely ties into an ongoing case in California, where the Trump administration had also attempted to send troops to Los Angeles under similar circumstances. That effort was blocked by a trial judge, but the ruling is now under review in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. California's Attorney General Rob Bonta has repeatedly warned that if Trump were granted broad authority in one state, he would extend it elsewhere, a prediction now appearing to come true with the Oregon deployment. Bonta's recent letter to the Ninth Circuit urged the court to reconsider its earlier ruling, warning that Trump's military orders were not limited by geography or time. He argued that such unchecked power could violate federal law, including the Posse Comitatus Act, which prohibits the use of the military for domestic law enforcement. His letter specifically predicted that Trump would exploit any legal leeway to send troops into other Democratic-led cities, a prediction now validated by the Oregon judge's findings that Trump acted without credible justification. The Oregon decision may therefore influence the ongoing California case. It provides evidence supporting the argument that Trump's actions were politically motivated and disconnected from any real security threat. Legal observers say that this could weaken Trump's position before the Ninth Circuit, which is now considering whether to conduct a full bench review of the earlier decision that had temporarily allowed troop deployment. Analysts also note the timing. Trump extended his troop deployment order just long enough to overlap with the upcoming election season, raising fears that he could use this authority to influence the outcome or intimidate voters. Critics warn that having federal troops on U.S. streets during an election could deter citizens from voting and set a dangerous precedent. While judges are expected to rule on the legal merits of each individual case, they are undoubtedly aware of the broader implications. The courts recognize the potential for abuse, particularly from a figure who once sought to overturn an election. The fact that Trump's troop orders align with key political timelines is not lost on them, and it may well shape how they interpret the legality of his actions. For now, both the Oregon and California cases remain active within the Ninth Circuit's jurisdiction. Whether or not they merge procedurally, they are closely linked in spirit and significance, both testing the limits of presidential power and the resilience of American democracy. What happens next could determine whether Trump retains the ability to deploy federal troops in civilian areas, not just as a matter of national security, but potentially as a tool of political control. The outcome of these cases will be closely watched as the country heads toward another contentious election cycle, with growing concern that extraordinary presidential powers could once again be used to shape the democratic process itself.